Hey guys, it is me Laura and I am here with a requested video today. So a while back I posted a video about reaching my goals, my health and weight loss goals, and I also was sharing about some of the things that were on my heart at the time. And one of the main things I was sharing about is just really learning and the importance of keeping my focus on Jesus and just following him day by day and not getting distracted by all the big plans that I want to make and all the big dreams that I have, or all the things that come up, and just really keeping that focus. And I had a question from Hannah at Pepper and Pine, and you should check out her channel because it's one of my favorites, totally awesome. And the question was basically, how do you know what to focus on and what projects to set aside, and how do you get that priority all in line? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that here. A really great resource that has been helpful for me and really helped me to figure some of this out is the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and I will put a link for sure in the description below. And I don't feel like his book is what started me on this, but rather this idea and this kind of knowing that I needed to keep my focus a lot more narrow and to really set my sight on Jesus, and kind of it's something that's easy to say, but then how do you do that? How do you put it into practice? And Arlen had read this book and really loved it and shared it with me as well, and so I haven't actually read it, but I've listened on Audible and re-listening, and it's really good. So this process, and then I'd also been working on a process for years actually, and you've probably seen me post some of this online, various about my 7 roles and my this and my that, and I really even just pared that down. And so now on the front of my binder, I have my most important things written down. This is this on my binder that has my my planner, my scheduler, all my everything that I use every day is right here, just so that I can look at it and be reminded. And so my number one priority, my number one thing to stay focused on every day is to take time to sit at the feet of Jesus. My number 2 thing is to serve, support, and encourage Arlen. That's really, really important. My number 3 is to encourage, teach, and connect with the boys, always looking for ways to point them to Jesus. My number 4 is to create a warm, loving, and accepting home environment. And those are kind of my top non-negotiable. And so before I say yes to anything else, or before I agree to anything else, those things need to be taken care of. So if that means that for a while I don't do YouTube, or for a while I don't do anything outside of the home because those 4 things take up all my time and energy, that's okay. Like, that is my main stuff to focus on. And then below that I have a statement that talks about, because usually those things, unless something comes up, can be taken care of and are running well, and I need somewhere else to channel some of my thoughts and some of my energy, some of my time, just because that's the way I am. And so that is where, that space that's outside of these 4 things is where I tend to get into trouble. And that's where I tend to overcommit and stress and really struggle. Well, on my binder below that, I have written here that my next thing is to encourage others through balanced vitality, which this channel is part of Balanced Vitality, and there's health groups that I have, but to encourage others through Balanced Vitality and card making, which card making is also a stress reliever for me and can sometimes help me clear my mind and help me do some more important tasks better. So those are kind of the things that I do. So Balanced Vitality is helping people, encouraging people in homeschool, in family, in fitness, and faith, and health, and wellness, and all the things up in the channel art on my channel. And basically, whenever I say yes to something outside, like how I'm going to be involved at church or things that I'm going to do, does it involve any of these things? Does it include these things? Does it help me to do these things better? Or is it an extension of these things in a way that doesn't distract from them? If the answer is no, then I don't do it. So, like, for example, I love working with children's ministries. I love working with kids at church, and they need someone to teach the junior age, which I love working with that age group. But I had to say no, and it was really hard for me. The reason being, it's not something that I can do with my family. It's not something that feeds into these main things that God is asking me to do right now that I'm really trying to focus on in my life. And I can see it as being something that will take a lot of my extra time, a lot of my extra energy, and take away, basically it will end up taking away from at least one of these areas, if not more. So I had to say no. But then again, there was another thing that came up where they asked if every other month if I might get together with a bunch of women at the church and help lead out with making some cards for various things that the church would need. That fits in with my encouragement. That fits in with my card making. That is something that is really stress relieving for me and a great way for me to interact with other ladies and get to know people better. So I said yes to that. And it's not a big term commitment. I'm only actually committing to one time at a time, but at the most we're talking 6 days out of the year. So it's very, very small. In general, I try not to commit to things that are ongoing because it's really hard with little kids to do that. And for me, I'm an introvert, which means I only have so much capacity to be around people at a time. I love people. It's not that I don't like people, but being with my kids all day, that drains me. So if I'm going to do something with other people, it needs to be really, I have to make that time stretch and to be giving the most that I can in that. And so, there's other things. I love making food for people and taking it to people. I love putting packages together for sick people and encouraging them. I love talking to people one-on-one. These are all things that I can do within those parameters. Now, this list will change over time. It will change as I get to different life stages, as my boys grow, as just life changes. But the most important key is that first one, to take time to sit at the feet of Jesus every day and to keep my focus. Okay, Jesus, like my main thing that I struggle with, but it seems to be kind of like the center to all of this for me, is that I have to start every day and say, okay, Jesus, okay, God, what do you want me to do today? What do you want me to do next? Like, just focus in on the here and the now and not get so lost in like, oh, I want to make these big plans and do this big thing. And sometimes it's hard for me and it's very countercultural, but I notice that if I just focus in on the moment, sometimes these big plans kind of unfold organically and they're way better than if I had tried to make them happen on my own. So I'm just realizing that just like with so many other things, it's about being faithful in the little things day to day more than about making these huge, giant, big leaps. And I'm a dreamer. So it's easy for me to take something like card making, for example, because I've used that a lot throughout here, and to say, okay, so let me turn this into a business. Let me see if there's ways that I can make cards and sell them and make online classes and teach people how to do cards. Like, that is the way my brain automatically goes. But if you think about the time and the investment that it takes to do that kind of stuff, there is no way that I can do that plus do all of these other important things. Plus get the sleep I need, which for me, sleep is really important and I can't miss it or else I can't function, and all those other things fall down, they fall by the wayside. So for me, that's what it really is. And it's hard because sometimes I have to say no to things and people that I don't want to say no to. And it's hard because I'm not as busy as the average person, and a lot of people would say our life is very boring. But in the end, I'm able to invest so much more in our children. I'm able to invest more in our home. And I feel like when I'm investing outside of our home in service and in other ways, I'm actually able to give more and give better because I'm focusing on the areas that I can truly make the most difference for right now. And it's actually really freeing and really liberating. So that is it. I mean, I don't know if that's helpful to you, but that's very personal, what I do and how I stay focused. And if you have any questions, let me know. But I highly, highly, highly recommend the book Essentialism. Like I said, I'm going to put the link below. And it's something that I'm going to be listening to over and over again and rereading because it really just helps you to understand this idea of not doing everything. Because that's what our culture is about, doing everything. But this is really about doing a few things and doing them really well. So that is what I have to share with you today. I hope that answers your questions, and let me know if you have any more. And I want to know for you, how do you stay focused? How do you know what things are important? How do you determine what the essentials are versus the things that are just screaming and need to be ignored? I would love to hear in the comments below or in a response video. So let me know, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.